Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It has been a long day. I tell you what, my sister and I are so busy right now. It just never stops. So I am exhausted and it's very late at night, and you guys are just gonna have to excuse the 11+ hour makeup. It just is what it is. I did want to get on here, however, and talk to you guys about this little beauty. You guys know after I reviewed the Zodiac palette by BH Cosmetics, I was incredibly impressed with the Zodiac palette. So I decided to give them another shot, and I went ahead and ordered the Festival palette when it came out. Now, I'll tell you, I have ordered BH Cosmetics palettes in the past, and I've been incredibly disappointed. I ordered the rose gold one. I think it was like rose gold. It was like a bunch of rose colors, and it came in like a tin, and it was just a chalky formula. The colors were not pigmented, and I was incredibly disappointed, and I just walked away from their eyeshadows at that point just because of the quality of the product. And then all of this hullabaloo came out recently over the Zodiac palette, so I thought I would go ahead and give them another shot. And you guys, if you haven't seen the review, I'll link it up here somewhere, but it is freaking phenomenal. I think I did it in my favorites video. It really was shocking how good it was. So at that point, I decided to go ahead and give them another shot. So I actually avoided any of the palettes that were in those tin palettes. I think because my head just equates that to that crappy eyeshadow formula that I got like a couple years ago. And they had just launched the Festival palette, so it wasn't in a metallic tin, and I thought that would be a great second opportunity to test drive some of their eyeshadows. So if that is something that you guys are interested in watching, then you are in the right place. We are about to get into it.
I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf.
All right, guys, so BH Cosmetics. Oh, actually, before we go to that, I just wanted to let you guys know that I left out a palette out of the giveaway box, and I don't know why or where my head was at, but if you guys remember a couple of videos back, I was talking about dupes and a company called Bad Habit that does a phenomenal job at duping other palettes. So I wanted to include one of them in there to give to you guys, just so that you guys could kind of see a little taste of what Bad Habit is all about. And so I chose the Supernova palette, which is actually the dupe for the Natasha Denona Lila palette. So again, I don't want to open it because I want the person that gets this to get a nice new palette that hasn't had fingers all stuck in it. But I'll make sure that there's some pictures running so that you guys can take a look at what the Supernova palette looks like. I have the Supernova palette, and I also have the Solstice palette, which is the dupe for the Natasha Denona Sunset palette, and I love this palette. I use this one quite a bit, so I actually have both of these palettes, but this one is actually going into the giveaway as well, so I just wanted to update you guys on that. That one is going in the giveaway box up there. Alright guys, so the BH Cosmetics Festival palette, this is a 20-pan palette, and it is incredibly colorful. So I was very, very skeptical about this palette being good. And I'll honestly just tell you why, guys, because colors like those bright pinks and those bright purples and those bright blues, especially yellows and oranges, when you really start traveling down that path, formulating a good eyeshadow becomes very difficult. Working with specific pigments becomes very difficult. Ensuring that like a canary yellow doesn't just blend when you start blending it. It'll either do one of two things. It'll turn to a horrible mustard color, or it will just blend away. So those types of pigments, especially hot pinks and purples and reds, they start getting really complicated. So I tend to stick with higher brands when I'm looking at a bold colored palette. So when I saw that the Festival palette by BH Cosmetics was not only full of bold colors, but it was only $18. And I thought, ugh, I don't know, guys. Now, I only ordered the palette and I didn't order the brushes because I just ordered the It's My Ray Ray brushes, and you guys, those brushes were awful. I hated them. They were very cheap feeling, very synthetic feeling. I did not like them. They were a fail for me, period. And the brush collection I tried before that, which was like a white marble kind of brush, I ended up having to send those back to BH Cosmetics because when they showed up they were defective and they had big glumps missing out of the actual bristles, and it's very discouraging. The very first brush collection that I ordered from BH Cosmetics a couple of years ago was the Ashley Tisdale brush collection. That brush collection is fantastic, and I think they still sell that on the BH Cosmetics website. But that's what made me keep trying the brush collections, because I knew that the Tisdale brush collection was amazing, so they had the potential to make good brushes. I just didn't understand why they weren't doing that like with their other brushes. So I didn't even want to go there with the Festival brush collection after the whole It's My Ray Ray disaster brush collection. I just didn't like it at all. So needless to say, going into this palette, I was a little bit nervous. I wasn't sure what the performance was going to be like at all. But having said that, let's go ahead and give it a fair shot. So this is what the palette looks like. So it comes to you in a carton that looks like this. And then you push the component out of the carton itself. And here is the Festival palette. Now, one thing that I like right off the bat is that it has a big mirror. I also love palettes that will actually flex all the way back so that you can hold it like this. Sometimes the ones that don't, they're just wide like this, they're inconvenient. I like being able to fold it all the way back, so that's a plus for me. And another plus for me is that the actual names are on the pans, and I can appreciate that. There's not just a sticker on the back. KKW. So again, this is the palette itself, you guys, and it really does, from a glance, just looking at it, initial reaction is that these colors are gorgeous. Don't they look beautiful? But it looks really scary because these are very difficult colors. This color here, this green color, this bright yellow color, even when you get into these types of colors where you've got shifts in them, like peachy shifts. This boho color right here is like a pink, and it's supposed to have like a peach shift through it. Those types of colors are not easy. They're not easy to do and do well. So while I look at this and I think, wow, this looks fantastic, I was still nervous going into the swatches. But let's take a look at the swatches and see how those actually worked out. Also, guys, not only did the swatches look amazing, but please keep in mind, this is an $18 palette. I'm still like stuck on the $18 price point. 20 pans, and they just swatched beautifully. So the next question is, how do they wear on the eyes? Now, even though bright, bold colors are not exactly my cup of tea, I tend to do, you know, looks like I have on right now. There are colors in here that I would enjoy playing with, and I would definitely enjoy playing with on clients. So I thought I would go with some bright, bold looks, and I definitely wanted to put them on the eye and wear them throughout the entire course of the day, and actually put them through a good 15-hour day wear test and just see how the colors themselves held up. And I'll show you some footage of that right here. So obviously, guys, I'm just going to kind of just speed you through the look. I just went in with some of my favorite colors just to create a really bold look. I was absolutely stunned at the payoff. So when you put it on your eyes, it's shocking how bright the colors are. So then it came down to blendability. Are they blendable? Are they going to look like a really pretty gradient on the eye? And the answer is yes. They blend beautifully. The formulas are beautiful. The matte formulas blend very well. The payoff is stunning. I will say with colors, actually with any colors this bold, the key is to really start with a very thin layer and then build on that with little thin layers and just keep building it until you get the blend and the opacity that you're looking for. If you go straight in with pigments that are this bold, you'll end up, you know, with big blotches that you can't blend out because the pigment is so bold and you've just packed it on, and sometimes it gets a little difficult to work around or to blend. But that is with any bold shadow. So the key with any bold shadow is less is more. Start with very thin layers and build it up until those bright, pretty, you know, pops of color that you're looking for. The shimmers are equally as stunning. They look beautiful on the eye. I will say with the shimmer, I will recommend that you go ahead and use like a NYX like glitter glue or a primer on your lid if you don't want it to transfer up onto your upper lid. These did transfer a little bit on me, but again, 99.9% of shimmer shadows in the universe will transfer up here when you put them on your lid, unless you have something really holding them down to the lid. So pop a little bit of a NYX glitter glue onto your lid, and that'll cut down a lot on the transfer of the shimmer shadows. But I will say this, guys, when I went in with the shimmer shadow, I did not go in with Fix Plus. I did not have to wet my brush. That is straight from the pan to the eye, and for that kind of a result is amazing. I did go ahead and just swatch it just so that I could see what it looked like wet, and it just pops that much more. These shadows are genuinely, shockingly good, you guys. They really are. I was blown away by this palette. BH Cosmetics knocked it out of the park with their festival palette. And, you know, it's funny because I was thinking about it in comparison to the Zodiac palette. And I was like, you know, is it better? Do I say it's better than the Zodiac palette? How do they compare to each other? And it's like comparing apples and oranges. They're two totally different creations. They're two totally different animals, but they're each equally stunning in their own right. So this palette is a home run, guys, and it's $18, which is ridiculous. That's, at this point, I don't even know how they do it and make a profit. I don't know. So here's something that's a little frustrating for me, right? So right now you can get this palette for $14.50. $14.50. You have beautiful shimmers and mattes in this. You have 20 pans in here of shadow that blends, stays on the eye all day long, looks just as bold at the end of the 20-hour mark as it did at 7 o'clock in the morning when you first put it on. You get all of that at this price point. And I get that not everybody can mass produce at that price point, but there are a lot of people that can bring price points down, or at least if they're going to do a higher price point, should maybe look into some better packaging or maybe some more product. Not mentioning any names or anything. Just saying, you know, randomly. At the end of the day, guys, this is Erica approved. It's a phenomenal palette. If you guys have a chance to get it, I would recommend that you snatch it up. It's absolutely worth it if this is your cup of tea. If you're into those bright bolds and you love this kind of bright, bold look, grab it. It's absolutely worth it and would make a beautiful addition to your collection, because these are not colors that you look at and say, oh, I have those in my palettes, or oh, I have like half that palette in some palettes that I have already. No, you don't. These are crazy colors. Like, these are crazy colors. So it would be nice. It would be nice to have this in your collection just so that you had these colors. Is this like a palette that you can, you know, have and do a complete look out of it? Not really. It's difficult to do like a complete look with this. This is definitely a palette that's nice to have when you need that bright, bold pop of color on the lid or any kind of accent color. It's just, I think it's a staple. It's a must-have in anybody's collection. They got me with this palette, guys. I really, really like it. All right, guys, so that's it. Short, sweet, and to the point. Don't forget we have the contest running all week long this week. We'll be doing a live this weekend announcing the winner of the box. If you guys want to know what's in the giveaway, then I'll put a little thingy up here where you can click on this video and watch me go over the contents of the giveaway box. Of course, I'm tossing, you know, odds and ends in there, here and there as the week goes on. Don't forget that I didn't go over the Supernova palette, and that's in there, so I forgot that one, guys. I'm sorry. But the Supernova palette will be included in the giveaway box, so we've cleared that up tonight. And I think that's it. So we do have some really fun and exciting products coming up this week to review. Sunday Riley came out with a foundation, you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to try it. And Maybelline has a new palette out. There's a lot of fun stuff coming up. And if you guys are on my Instagram, then you already know what those products are. And those reviews will be coming soon this week. So, all right, guys, I hope everybody is happy and healthy. Don't forget, if you want to be entered into the contest, go back to that video. Make sure that you like it, that you leave a comment down below, and that you are a subscriber. Make sure your comment also includes how I can get in touch with you. And we are going to do our drawing at the end of this week. All right, guys, thank you so much. Again, happy, healthy. I hope everybody is, and I hope you guys enjoy your week this week. Mwah.